Hi there. My name's Catharine River Rain. I am a clairvoyant and intuitive healer and astrologer. I'm here making YouTube videos, hopefully to help people and teach people some of the things I've learned over my 20 years plus of healing work on myself and with many clients. So today is a tough topic. It's about narcissism and how to spot a narcissist. It's harder than you may think. You can read the traits in any website, in any book, but to actually pick these people out in a crowd or spot them in your life can be harder than you might realize, because they are so charming. That's one of the things about them. So charming. Usually they look great. They always have a great smile. They are usually clever or funny or extremely attentive. They have something that draws you into their charm. And we all want that. We all want to find somebody we find attractive and attentive and interesting. So of course we want to think they're good people. What could be wrong? What could be wrong? So there's various degrees of narcissism on the scale of 1 to 10, right? Everybody's got some. You could accuse me of being narcissistic, making a YouTube video that I like to see myself on camera, or the sound of my own voice perhaps. And yeah, maybe some of that's a bit true. I enjoy it, but at the same time, it's the intention behind it. I'm using this as a tool to explain in a different way than words. And I'm also doing it with videos so that people can get a sense of who I am, that I'm grounded, and it makes it more intimate for you, the user, to feel you're having a conversation about the subject than to read a book or read one of my articles. But aside from that, believe it or not, I can be quite shy. I don't like to take the limelight in a crowd. I'm never that person. And contrary to the narcissist who adores the spotlight, they have a way of always bringing conversation back to themselves, or sort of always giving a performance in some way, being more high-spirited, being louder, showing off. And today I wanted to talk more about the dangerous traits of narcissism, because, as I said, everyone has something. Everyone has their own place where they want to shine, where times in your life where it's all about you, and areas of your life where you feel the best and you want attention. Everyone has a bit of that. When there's a problem is when there's such extreme behavior that it's going to cut your relationship potential, or there cannot be a relationship because it's all about them. So one thing I thought I would share today is how quite a severe narcissist might act in public, how you could spot them when you're out and about. I've always found this disturbing when this happens, and it happens so often in life. But anyway, here we go. Yes, I'm in a playground, there's lots of kids around, but I'm sort of enjoying their joyfulness in the background, so hopefully you do too. See, they're just joyful, and they attract attention because they're joyful and beautiful. They're not trying to manipulate somebody like a narcissist. Kids are not narcissistic. They are just going through their developmental stage as they should. You know, they're young, and it's all about them. They're still learning. But the narcissist is wounded somewhere way back, maybe around those ages. Very wounded. And they spend the rest of their life trying to gain approval and appraise and accolades from people, admiration from people, being in control all the time. There's a huge deficit, and in a way we should feel very sorry for them. But anyway, I digress. So here's one thing, one trait that I'm sure you will recognize. Narcissists will often have conversations in public that are not appropriate. So for example, you're standing in a line at Tim Hortons for a donut, and there's a couple ahead of you, and they start discussing something that seems a bit too intimate to be discussing in public. Maybe they're having a bit of a tiff, an argument. Maybe it's somebody saying, well, I told you this and I told you that and you should have listened, and you know, scolding. Or maybe it's something something overt that, you know, it's going to make the average person feel like, ooh, I'm in the middle of somebody's personal moment. Now, that can happen to lots of people depending on their lives in the day. But a narcissist, okay, is going to enjoy that public attention, even if it's for a negative thing. And often one of the narcissistic, one of the two, is going to be looking around to see who's looking at them while they're having this tiff. So very often, I think because I'm tuned in, people can sense that I am noticing. And I get this all the time where I'm suddenly privy to something personal like that, and the person, instead of speaking directly, let's say, to the woman, let's say it's a man and a woman, and sorry guys, but I'm going to use a man as an example. Let's say the man is the narcissist and the woman is not, and they start having something uncomfortable in a line and I'm behind them. The narcissist will tend to be talking to her, but he'll be looking at me, and he'll start to smile. As he's scolding her, he's looking at me, smiling. I've seen this over and over again. So A, what's going on? A, he loves the attention. B, he's assuming that I must be paying attention to their conversation. You know, even if my headphones are on, these people will be looking, right? And they'll be assuming that I must be so fascinated by what's going on with them. But then the smile is where it gets me. The smile is where it feels like sick, right? You're arguing or you're unhappy with each other. It's something too personal for public, and you want me to smile with you and like side with you against her, or you're overtly drawing me into your dynamic. This is a very narcissistic trait. So whenever you see people, men or women, I used a man, there's narcissists in both sexes, trust me. Whenever you see people that seem to be like a bit too loud, a bit trying too hard, a bit laughing too loud, and in the middle of dialogues, or out in public, where they're doing something inappropriate, like could even be a woman who's just complaining at the grocery store, and you see a part of that smug little smile, enjoying every minute of the attention. They'll always be looking around to see who's looking at them if they're really narcissistic. If you're just an average person and something happens at the cash register and you're outraged at your bill, I mean, that can happen.